evening, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to the Digital Forge Broadcast Network this Friday night for a new Superspeedway series. It's the Superspeedway's Showdown series with the Tri-League series. That's a tongue twister there for you. The Loose Lug Nuts Racing League, KMA, and TWCVM will be battling it out in this series as they are doing a interlaced league series. It's a great thing coming at you here tonight. We are going to see if we can get somebody on the line for you here. Talking a little bit about what the leagues and what we got coming up in this series. It's a new series coming out. John Hedrick's going to join me in the booth here. Guy rarely ever get the opportunity to talk to, but we're going to bring him in here just to get a few words to talk about this new Superspeedway series. John, tell us a little bit about what we got going on here.
Yeah, we got 6 races with the truck and the Xfinity car. We were going to run the old COT and the old Nationwide, but iRacing kind of screwed us over there, so we switched over to these. It's all Superspeedway, fixed set. Should be a good time.
Definitely look forward to it, and you're bringing together, and out of your typical Friday night leagues that you normally would run, you guys are bringing together tonight 2 other leagues in there, KMA and TWCVM. What brought that about?
We're big supporters of KMA and TWCVM. Guys, they come over, support us each week. We go over and race with them, and usually good races, so we just thought that this would make for a good show, and we hope it does.
And while we got that, we're going to bring another guy in the booth with us here. Scott Kolovic over there at KMA Racing is going to join us in the booth as well. Talking about a couple different leagues joining us, KMA being the one of them. Scott, you guys are a Superspeedway league altogether, and tonight you joined Loose Lug Nuts for a battle, especially here at Talladega. Tell us a little bit about it.
Well, I tell you what, we are expecting a very most excellent race tonight. We're looking at 80 laps. It is definitely a pleasure to run beside such great groups as Loose Lug Nuts and TWC Virtual Motorsports. All of us are also large supporters of Pat, and that makes it all the more worth the while. Hoping for 80 green flag laps tonight, Dustin.
Is there, since you guys pretty much are the administrators for your leagues, is there any all-stars in your leagues that you could clue the audience in on maybe watching? Start with you, John. Is there any couple drivers you want to name right off the bat that we could watch for in this series, and then we'll go to Scott and get his couple?
Yeah, I'd keep an eye on Jason Hughes. He's pretty fast at Superspeedways. So, yeah, out of the Loose Lug Nut guys, he's the guy to keep an eye on tonight. Jeff Woods, he's pretty quick himself. We got Alan Manning out there. We got Bad Bob. So, yeah, we got some top-notch drivers out there, and look to be up front.
How about you, Scott? What do we got an expectation-wise from the KMA League?
Well, I'll tell you what, I like to keep an eye on my guy, Scott Finstermacher. Awesome driver, shows a lot of patience. He knows when to hold him and know when to fold him and to put that hammer down. Mark Jackson, he is definitely probably my #1 current powerhouse. Edward Bray is another upstanding driver, and we've got our young buck, Jarrett Lipster. Now, the thing about Jarrett is he tends to hang back in the back of the pack until it's about 10 to go, and then guaranteed you're going to see him right up there in the front.
All right, we're going to sneak a guy in here from the TWCVM League as well. We've got Tim Campbell on the line here. Tim, out of your guys' league, is there any particular drivers that we can expect to see perform well here at Talladega and in the overall series?
Yeah, hey Dustin, how you doing? Yeah, we're a little short on guys. We got about 3 guys I know of out here, but yeah, Joe Hodges, he's a darn good driver. I look at him being up front there and giving some good racing for the viewers and stuff.
All right, well, there you have it, folks. Out of all 3 leagues here tonight, the Loose Lug Nuts Racing League, the KMA Racing League, and the TWCVM Racing League, we got a little bit of picks there from the league admins to talk about, and definitely we'll be watching for them. It's a great thing to be able to put together 3 leagues in coordination for one great showdown. And my friends, tonight, the Superspeedway Showdown begins here at Talladega. I'll let you all get back to what you're doing, though. Just wanted to pull you up into the booth, get a little words out of it. Is there anything, I guess we could say we'll start with John, we'll move down to Scott and Tim. Any last things you'd like to say here for the audience before let these guys go qualify?
Just say hang on, it's going to be a good show.
Yes, sir. I would definitely agree that, and definitely a big shout out to the viewers out there watching, for they're the reason we do this.
Oh yeah, exactly. I think it's going to be a good race for the viewers today. Oh, then we're going to put on a good race for everybody.
All right. Well, thanks very much, guys, for joining us here, or joining me here in the booth tonight. It's a pleasure to, from the Digital Forge Broadcast Network, to be able to capture this wonderful series that you guys have put together. 3 different leagues working in conjunction to put together one great series. Best of luck to you all here in this series, and we'll have some fun racing tonight.
Thank you, Dustin.
Yep.
Yes,
Thanks
sir.
a lot, Dustin.
Good luck, guys.
Well, there you have it, folks. Some words from the different drivers, as well as series admins, or league admins, excuse me, coming at you here tonight. It'll be 3 different leagues working together, and they will be giving out their best to see what they can do to support their leagues and show off their leagues, but ultimately in a great friendly showdown. And that is done in Superspeedway. So talking about that here tonight as we watch the drivers begin to qualify, we are going to take a look at the schedule that they got coming up. So there it is on your screen. So Superspeedway Showdown starts off here tonight. Trucks at Talladega. And one thing to mention, folks, it's going to be a multi-car or multi-vehicle series as well. Kind of like a wheelman kind of deal. So next week, we are going to be back at Auto Club in the Xfinity cars. A couple weeks from now, week number 3 will be Trucks at Daytona. Then they're going to bring it back and do the Xfinity at Talladega, Trucks at Auto Club, and finish out at Xfinity at Daytona. So it'll be a neat little series. You got 6 total weeks of racing. So you definitely want to tune in. If you haven't done so already, make sure you hit that subscribe button, folks, so you'll stay in the know as to when we go live for these types of races and neat little things. You can always count on the Loose Lugnuts Racing League to be able to put together some innovative stuff. They were really looking to get the cars of tomorrow implemented in this series, but unfortunately, due to the new updates to that package and the downforce package they gave to the car, no restrictor plates was put on it, and these guys were hitting 235 miles an hour, not able to put together a great race like you're watching here, the trucks that are going around Talladega. The big packs, the big bunches, what people like to see, the side-by-side battles. You wouldn't get that with the new implementation package on the cars of tomorrow. So we'll take a look. Let's get a little results action here for you as we are watching the drivers go qualify. On the screen, you can see Mark Jackson is running a fast time tonight, 49.22. Definitely with the open qualifying set has the draft help he needs to be able to get that good qualifying time. Brandon Schnupp right there behind him. Lloyd Saunders, Scott Kolovic, Jason Covington, Scott Sanderson, Scott Finstermacher. And I tell you what, could you get more Scotts in action? If you tuned in last night to the iCar, it was a little joking about Justin's, Johnson's, and John's all together in that series. And tonight we got 3 Scotts in the top 7. Jason Van Cleek, Jeffrey Wood, and Bob Wells, your top 10 here in qualifying. So with that being said, we're going to get some opinions of some drivers around here tonight and what their expectations are. We're going to go to see if we can get Corey Bodnot's opinion on it tonight. Just pulling a random driver out of the field as they are working on their qualifying times. They got about 8.5 minutes, a little over that remaining, but we're going to pull this guy in the booth, get his thoughts on what to expect here at Talladega. Corey Bodnot, this is Dustin Caldwell in the booth. Are you there?
Yeah. Hi.
How you doing tonight?
Good. Currently running some qualifying laps right now.
Well, any expectation? How's the truck seem to be handling here at Talladega?
She feels pretty good.
Working the curves pretty good. Is there any particular lines that you're looking at running here on the track? Low grooves, middle grooves? Is you trying to work the high line yet?
Yeah, I'm mainly looking towards the bottom lane to the middle lane. Trying not to go 3 wide too much.
All right. Well, is there any shout-outs you'd like to give while we got you on the line?
Yeah, I'd like to give a shout out to my dad. He might be watching it tonight.
All right. Well, there you have it. Appreciate the time there, Corey. Best of luck to you in the race, bud.
Thanks.
So we got a loose lug nuts guy there. Let's go and see if we can get somebody out of the KMA. Guy that's known to be pretty good in these super speedways. We're going to pull him in to talk a little bit for the KMA, but this is Gary Whitmer. Go see if we can get him on the line. Gary, this is Dustin Caldwell in the booth. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here, Dustin.
Well, tonight we're back at Talladega. Time and time got a chance to watch you with the All-Pro guys and some other series. Extreme Motorsports, I believe we caught you a couple of times in that series. Like to run these Super Speedway series. How's the truck handling here tonight?
Seems to be pretty good right now. Got some adjustments to make later, but we'll see what happens.
What's your expectations running up against two other different leagues? You got Loose Lug Nuts and TWCVM in here tonight.
Yeah, it's going to be trying to pick the best partner to go with and then just go with it.
All right. Well, appreciate that. Is there any shout-outs you'd like to give while we got you on the line?
KMA, All-Pro Broadcasting, Over the Top Paints, and, of course, my parents that's probably watching this race right now.
All right. Well, best of luck to you in the race tonight, bud.
All right. Thank you, Dustin.
There you have it. Gary Whitmer with a little bit of words on it. We're going to pull in Joe Hodge from the TWCVM. Another guy from a different league here tonight taking place at Talladega. Joe Hodge, this is Dustin Caldwell in the booth. Are you there?
How's it going, Dustin?
Doing pretty good. I wanted to get a few words from you. We're going around getting some different insights from the different leagues here tonight, as we do have 3 different leagues in this series, and pulling you in for the TWCVM league. Is there anything you want to say about the league, or tell us a little bit about how your truck's handling here tonight?
Well, the truck's handling real good tonight. I think the problem that TWC is going to have tonight is that we only got looks like 3 people running tonight, so we're going to be a little short-handed.
But it definitely will have some draft partners hopefully out there and make some friends. And it's a good thing about running with 2 other different leagues. Maybe you can make some new friends and some new draft buddies, possibly interleague alliances, if you will, in this Super Speedway Showdown series. Is there any shout-outs you want to give while we got you?
No, just on my fellow racers over at TWC, Tim Campbell, Ralph Wheeler, and Dewey Hall.
All right, buddy. Well, thank you much for your time, and best of luck to you in tonight's race here at Talladega.
Thank you, Dustin.
There's Joe Hodge from the TWCVM Racing League, providing some insights there. Fortunately for those guys, they are going to be a little short-handed tonight, only fielding 3 cars from their league. But with the KMA and the Loose Lug Nuts guys, these are some great leagues. I'm sure somebody will work along the lines with them and not leave them out to dry. Taking a look at the qualifying times, folks, we got 4.5 minutes remaining in qualifying. With that being said, we are going to move to the Star Spangled Banner, brought to you by Madison Rising. Got a lot of great racing coming at you here tonight. 80 laps here at Talladega Camping World Truck Series action. Chevy Silverados, Toyota Tundras will be battling it out with 3 different leagues. You definitely want to stay tuned. We appreciate you tuning in to the Digital Forge Broadcast Network this Friday night. We'll be back. Enjoy the Star Spangled Banner, folks.
Can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, this Friday night. It's Dustin Caldwell joining you here on the Digital Forge Broadcast Network, bringing you the coverage of the Superspeedway Showdown. First race of the 6-race series with the Loose Lugnuts KMA and TWC-VM Racing Leagues. Drivers have finished up their qualifying set. We're going to be set to go to the grid in just a few moments. If you haven't done so already, folks, we talked about it earlier. Make sure you hit that subscribe button out there on YouTube so you'll stay in the know as to when we go live. Broadcasting 6 nights a week for different leagues throughout the week. And it's a lot of great race action. Tonight we got 80 laps of the Camping World Truck Series racing coming at you. The Chevy Silverados and the Toyota Tundras. Side by side, it doesn't get any better than this. In iRacing, folks, trucks are where it's at. They are now making their way to the grid. And it looks like we are going to have a lot of trucks here tonight, folks. Well over 30 trucks. So we bring you the sounds of the field down there on the track. Let's get down there and take a look at your pole sitter here tonight. Sporting that white Chevy Silverado. In first position on the pole, the Texas driver running the 102. That is Gary Burt. The number 7 to his outside this evening. It's going to be tough. I got to make my way through a lot of drivers here tonight. Having a little bit of issues trying to get these drivers. This is a lot of drivers, and they are excited to race. See Scott Fenstermacher back there. He's an Illinois driver running a Chevrolet, starting in 5th position. Trying to capture that outside guy. So there it is. Nathan Sylvia, the Virginia driver in the 67 Ricky Bobby paint scheme there on his truck, will be starting 2nd. The number 13 tonight. That should be the one and only Loose Lugnuts guy. That's Thomas Axum back there in 3rd position. My numbering list is not working with me. There he is. 03 of Mark Jackson will be starting 4th. We saw that 27 of Scott Fenstermacher back there rounding out your top 5. Taking a look on back, the 94 of Scott Sanderson. They're in 6th position. As they're making their way through turn number 2. Sean Zulu back there in 39th position rounds out the field. 39 vehicles on the field this evening, folks. It's going to be some great racing coming at you. Again, this is the Superspeedway Showdown with the Loose Lugnuts KMA TWC VM Racing Leagues. Was supposed to run the cars tomorrow. They opted out and went with the trucks due to the new downforce package. As the pace car takes them into turn number 4. Gary Burt, Nathan Sylvia up front will be taking us to the green. Down towards the tri-oval they go. Everybody's on their feet. ready for some great racing. The pace car now into the pits. Watching here at the start-finish line, they come around that tri-oval.
Green, green, green.
Green flag flies, and we are off. The series has begun. As they make it across that first lap, let's take a look, folks, up front. It is a nice battle here tonight. The 102 of Gary Bird leads the herd through turns 1 and 2. Thomas Axum to the inside. You've got the 67 of Nathan Sylvia now making a run here as they go to the back straightaway. In fourth position, Mark Jackson, the number 3 truck up high. The 27 of Scott Finstermacher back there in fifth position. Here comes the 16 of Zach Coyer making a move to the high side in turn number 3. Close-knit racing up front, folks. Scott Sanderson, the 94 blue and black truck back there. Looking in seventh position, Corey Bodnott, the guy we talked to earlier. The number 34 green and black up high. Here comes the 31 of Brandon Schnupp to the inside to make it 3 wide into turn number 1. Some great 3 wide action there for you folks here in the first 3 laps of the race. And Bodnott's going to take the high line, but he'll end up to the outside coming out of turn number 2. Side by side, they go down the back straightaway. Nathan Sylvia, Gary Bird up front, Thomas Axum, Mark Jackson rounding out your front 4. It's a nice battle early on. Let's jump back to 9th position. There you have the 96 of Craig Covington. To the outside, that's Corey Bodnott. The 42 truck, that's Ryan Kuhn, superstar in the short tracks. And also in Silver Crowns, he worked really well in those. Jason Van Cleek, the 78 car, is to the inside of the 05 of Gary Whitmer Jr. Craig's son, Jason Covington, the number 10 truck right here, back in 14th position. Joseph Hodge, the TWC VM guy we talked to, the number 45, back there in 15th position. That is your top 15 right there. A nice look at the side-by-side racing early on. Let's jump back up to the front and take a look at Gary Bird holding off the number 13 of Thomas Axum, who's going to be bump drafting him through turns 3 and 4. Out of turn number 4, they're going to come down towards that tri-oval. Axum underneath the yellow lines, wobbling quite a bit. Sylvia up to the high side with Mark Jackson. A nice little momentum shift for that middle groove as they come across the start-finish line. Clicking over into the 5th lap of this 80-lap affair here at Talladega. Thomas Axum to the inside of Zach Coyer, 13 to the 16. You got that 27 of Finstermacher on the inside of that 31 of Schnupp. Down the back straightaway they go. The 94 of Scott Sanderson trying to pick up some rear draft off the 27 of Finstermacher. A little bit of position change as Sylvia now comes down to the lower groove right in front of Burt in turn number 3 to take over the race lead here on lap number 5. Coming out of turn number 4, and look at the move of Gary Burt to the outside. Wipes the nose clean of Mark Jackson, and a little bit of flip-flop action here between the grooves as Gary Burt now gets the momentum shift to take back the race lead. And here in lap number 6, they are going to begin to pull away in that middle groove, but watch that lower groove pick it up as the temperature here tonight's a little bit on the cool side. Middle grooves tend to win the straightaways, and they definitely have more trucks up there in that middle groove than down low. It's like a freight train coming down that back straightaway into turn number 3. Here comes Nathan Sylvia with a momentum shift in turn number 3. The 27 of Fenstermacher now to the inside of Mark Jackson, as he's got a truck length lead, the 67 of Nathan Sylvia. But here comes that middle groove right down the tri-oval. Gary Burt's going to bring it back, and wow, Thomas Axum all over the place in that tri-oval. Able to keep it together as half the truck was on the apron for just a few moments there. Now Gary Burt, turns 1 and 2 working really well here for the 102 and the 03 of Mark Jackson up high. Is going to go around him. He just hit a brick wall of air. Some lap traffic up ahead. That is the 87 of Justin Michael. They're passing there. Mark Jackson now takes over the race lead. A little bit of checkup bumps there from the 31 into the 42. The 31 of Brandon Schnupp into the 42 of Ryan Kuhn. Kuhn's going to fall back just a little bit. Thomas Axum still weaving in that tri-oval. Lap number 8, folks, and we are caution free, especially with the amount of vehicles we have on the field, 38 in total. And Gary Burt, still your race leader as they come out of turn number 2, battling hard side by side with Mark Jackson. Look at the bump drafting going on in that lower groove. Nathan Sylvia, nose to tail, has Burt in front of him and Axum behind him, who now gets a gap just a little bit right there behind him as they head into turns 3 and 4. Anticipate Mark Jackson to rally back here down the tri-oval, as they're going to pick up some side draft there off of Axum and the 27 of Scott Fenstermacher. Here comes Ryan Kuhn, got some side draft off of Covington, rear draft off of Fenstermacher. Into turn number 1, we've got an 8-pack. Working their way through turns 1 and 2, still side by side, up for the race lead, Mark Jackson and Gary Burt. Nice hard-fought battle. Let's take a look back. Corey Bodnott, a guy we talked to, has fallen back to 23rd position now. That's how close these guys are running. As we take a look at the rest of the pack, and the 79 is going to push high. Pushing high, that is Johnny Smith, who happens to be a lap down. So here is a nice pack battle of different vehicles up front. The 96 you see in your screen, that is Craig Covington, the number 10 up front. Beside Ryan Kuhn, that is Jason Covington, his son. The 78 of Jason Van Cleek back there behind Covington. Zach Coyer up high has the 99 of Matthew Hevener right there behind him. Joseph Hodge, the 45. Black and blue truck down there has Jason Hughes behind him. So Joseph Hodge and Jason Hughes working together. The number 91 of Joel Guy back there in front of Lloyd Saunders. Tim Campbell, the 89 guy, that's another TWC VM guy we talked to, is back there in 17th position. Scott Kolovec, guy for the the KMA Racing League, the number 69. Started 13th, he's fallen back to 19th position here in the first 10 laps of this race. I tell you what, it's hard to believe it's only been 10 laps. Well, we're on lap number 11. At this battle taking place up front, these guys are running smooth here at Talladega. Didn't get a chance to tell you earlier. Let's take a look real quick at the race information tonight on your screen. Talladega Superspeedway. 2.66 mile track. That's what qualifies it as a Superspeedway, folks. 65 degrees in the air, 0% humidity. It's a little bit overcast and 70 degrees on the track at the time of the start of this race. Coming out of turn number 4, Gary Burt, Nathan Sylvia up front. Thomas Axum, Mark Jackson, pretty much back where we started on the grid here tonight. The front 4 drivers making their way across that start-finish line into lap number 12. Oh, and we got some connection issues. Oh my goodness. The acrobatics here tonight are brought to you in part by these guys, barrel rolling their way through the track. My goodness. Told you folks it was going to be a great show, and a great show it is. You got to see some acrobatics there through turn number 2. Nathan Sylvia now takes over the race lead in 3 and 4. Gets a little bump there from Gary Burt. Coming out of turn number 4, Mark Jackson slides down a little bit to pick up some rear draft, and he's going to turn Gary Burt.
Caution is out. Caution is out.
Gary Burt tried to move up to get around, and he did not have the clearance. The spotter gave him false hope, and that's going to bring out our first caution here tonight. Let's go back and take a look at the replay. We'll go down closer for you so you can see that we did catch it live. So as they come out of turn number 4, keep an eye on the 102, and right there it is. He gets really, really loose and spun around. Mark Jackson. A little bit of blending action between the 03 and the 102. And that's going to draw out our first caution of this race. This is the Superspeedway Showdown here this Friday night on the Digital Forge Broadcast Network. We're going to take a short commercial break. When we come back, plenty more race action coming at you. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
iRacing.com is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all over the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics and engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. iRacing's web-based interface allows members to compare stats and test drive any combination of car and track instantly. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 60,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsport organizations like SRO Motorsports Group to deliver virtual races based on the real-life Blancpain GT series. iRacing's Blancpain Endurance Series features team racing, giving members the ability to build a team and participate in races ranging from 3 hours to 24 hours. Additional partners include NASCAR, IMSA, V8 Supercars, IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own 24 hours of Spa, Bathurst 1000, Daytona 500, and many more. iRacing.com, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car.
Welcome back to Talladega. The lights are off that pace car heading into turn number 3. Scary Bert bringing out that first caution. Getting a little bit aggressive early on. We'll be back to the green on lap number 17. It'll be Nathan Sylvia and Brandon Schnupp, your top 2 drivers. Pace car into the pits. Watching it come around the tri-oval. Cameras tonight are brought to you by Ryan Eckstein. Excellent job to bring you the action. Gonna go to the crank it up cam as soon as we get back to the green.
Green flag, green flag.
Green flag flies. Here we go. As they cross that start-finish line into lap number 18, Nathan Sylvia battling hard with Brandon Schnupp. The 31 to the high side has the 91 of Joel Guy right there behind him. The 27 of Scott Finstermacher will now look to the inside. Can't get around the 67 of Sylvia. The number 1 of Lloyd Saunders right there in the low groove right in front of Thomas Axum. The lower groove having the more trucks at the moment. But it looks like that middle groove in some cars, or truck, will push high. Taking a look at that 76. Racing, making his debut for the Loose Lug Nuts Racing League. That is Toby Weatherford running that Stuart Haas, Kurt Busch Monster Energy paint scheme. Got to give him a special shout out. Kurt Busch is my driver. Down across the start-finish line into lap number 19 they go. Taking a look at your top 5 in the bottom left hand of your screen. Sylvia, Schnupp, Finstermacher, Guy, and Weatherford. Some side-by-side battles going on. Your summary statistics so far in the 91. Oh, wow. The 91 is going to push. He's going to fall so far back so fast. Joe Guy. We're going to stay green as that wonderful large apron comes to hunt. The 91 of Guy. We can see him back there. Let's go back real quick and take a look at the replay on Joel Guy. He was loose coming up out of turn number 2. Get you down closer to the action. So he pushes high, and right there in front of Weatherford, he's going to go down into the number 1 of Lloyd Saunders, and they're going to get carried down in there. A little bit of spinning action going on around. And Axum, I believe, the 13 of Axum is going to be caught up in this as well. And they're going to go for a spin. My goodness. Lloyd Saunders and Thomas Axum really feeling the brunt as they slide through each other on the apron. See the 42 of Ryan Kuhn up there avoiding all that. Sylvia getting some bum draft action going on. Camera's giving a little bit of hiccup there, but there we go. Back to the front. Apologize for the little glitchiness here tonight. The iRacing servers have had a few issues the last couple of days. This new update. We were showing you the race statistics there before that incident took place. Let's take a look at it once again. 20 laps completed, soon to be 21 here. 5 lead changes and 1 total caution in this race. So 1/4 or 1/4 of the race completed so far. AJ Brissett, another guy racing for the Loose Lugnuts, making his debut. The 71 truck there you see in front of you. Up there behind the 76 of Weatherford. Zach Coyer, the 16 up high. The 78 of Van Cleek down low has the 26 of Edward Bray, excuse me. Right there behind him, the Carolina driver started 24th, and he's up to the top 10 here in the first 23 laps of this race. Some people out there in the YouTube chat giving a shout out for Brandon Schnupp up front. Wishing that 31 car well. And he's been doing pretty good up there in that middle groove. Now has the number 10 of Jason Cummington right behind him, battling the 67 of Sylvia and the 27 of Fenstermacher. Down below into turn number 3, and a lot of drivers going to push high towards the wall. We got some 3 wide action back there with Zach Coyer. Looks like it's the 37 of Wally Triheimer. Man, these guys are making me work. Tierheimer. Work for all my pronunciation here tonight. Wally Tierheimer up to the high side. The California driver started 22nd and is now up to 10th position. So a lot of moving through the field. And here comes Coyer in that middle groove to the inside of Weatherford. Through turn number 2. It's going to be Weatherford in the 76 and the 71 of Brissett pushing high in that third line. They're not going to have anybody to help them out. Totally relying on the side draft off of Coyer. So they're probably going to lose out until the turn. Making that highlighting work. Here comes Tierheimer to the inside of Brissett now and making it another 3 wide. And this is scary place, Coyer! Oh my goodness. That spotter is sweating bullets. As Zach Coyer, we got some 4 wide action across the start-finish line. Oh, this doesn't look good. It doesn't look good. And Zach Coyer with the maneuverability to hang on. Definitely was sweating some bullets there. See the 94 of Scott Sanderson. It's kind of worried for a moment there. And threading the needle. He ended up losing some position, folks. But Zach Coyer, you definitely got to give some praise to that 16 truck, 16 truck of Zach Coyer. Now looks to the high side, catching some side draft off the 87 of Justin Michael. A guy that we saw get lapped early on in this race is now back in it in 13th position. Got the wave around in the first caution and only caution of this race. Has the 73 of Sean Zulu right there behind him. Back in 14th position. This Texas driver started 39th, folks. 39th, and in 26 laps, he's up to 13th place. That is moving and hard charging through this field. So Nathan Sylvia now up front. The Virginia driver, total 19 laps led in this race. Has Scott Fenstermacher right there behind him. An Illinois driver. We got some more 3 wide action. Take a look at this. 6 drivers. 2 slots of 3 wide action through turn number 4. Weatherford and Brissett still running that high line. Coyer now battles back to the inside of Toby Weatherford. It was just 1 lap ago that the 16 made everybody in that pack sweat some bullets. But he has rallied back now behind the 73 of Sean Zulu. The number 6 up there. 26, that number 2 blending in. That is Edward Bray. And as they come out of turn number 4, folks, and getting ready for lap number 28, Brandon Schnupp still battling Nathan Sylvia up front. Enough can't be said about the 3 leagues, folks, that are taking place in here. Especially with 40 cars almost 40 trucks. Call them cars. If I call them cars, you know I mean trucks by this point. 40 vehicles starting on the grid. And we've gone 28 laps with one caution. That is impressive, folks. Very, very impressive. The number one now, that is Lloyd Saunders, being lapped by everybody. Thomas Axum, another guy involved in that non-yellow flag incident back on the apron where the 91 of Joel Guy came down into Lloyd Saunders, carrying this guy, the 13 of Thomas Axum, with him. Axum in the lucky dog slot, back in 31st position. Pending any cautions, we'll see a wave around. And the approaching herd of the lead lap now closing in on that 13 car. One thing to know, folks, if you are not familiar with racing going on and you're interested to know some neat little facts, when these guys get up to speed, as we take a look at Brandon Schnupp, we're following this driver, 195 miles an hour through turns 3 and 4. You need a draft partner. The air moving around these vehicles a lot. You need a draft partner. If you do not have a draft partner, you are going to fall back quick. That's why if you watch the guys up in the high line, up in the third line, we saw Weatherford and Brissett up there fall back just a little bit because they were hitting what was like a brick wall of just nothing but air. As you can see how fast these guys are coming around, and they're going to spread the needle. Some happen to go to the apron. Thomas Axum refuses to budge. Typical etiquette here in iRacing, you would see the driver, the lap down driver, go to the inside apron and allow the lead lap trucks pass. Here comes a new leader. This is Wally Tierheimer now. To the high side, being pushed by the 94 of Scott Sanderson. As they cross the start-finish line into lap number 31. 50 laps now remain in the race, folks. Let's take a look at your top 5. Wally Tierheimer, Brandon Schnupp, Scott Sanderson, Nathan Sylvia, and Justin Michael are your top 5. Into turn number 3 they go. Schnupp with just about a cab and a hood in front of Tierheimer. Being pushed by Sylvia. Talking about having a draft partner, folks. Some of these guys in different leagues may be working together because it's for the greater good. We talked about the TWCVM guys only having a few in the race. Joseph Hodge. Whoa, and we got some more flippy action going on. The server definitely providing some quality entertainment for us this evening, that's for sure. Just taking a look back so far, the drivers that have called it quits in this race: Mark Jackson, Christopher, I'm going to butcher that name, Bertoli, Christopher Bertoli, Chris Huig, and looks like Garrett Starcata. And we see the 63 now receiving a little bit of pass. That is Jeffrey Kochis, a loose lug nuts driver. Had an amazing win back in a couple of series ago. It's a great finish for that 63 driver. And Sylvia bump draft and Schnupp as they come out of turn 4. Battles the middle groove of Tierheimer and Sanderson. 27 of Scott Finstermacher back there to the inside of the 87 of Justin Michael. Close door hugging between Jason Hughes loose lug nuts driver that John Hedrick talked about early on. It's to the inside of the 73 of Sean Zulu. Zulu is going to pick up some amazing side draft off that 27 of Fenstermacher into turn number 3, but as fast as he gains it, he's going to lose out and go right there behind Hughes. So Hughes will pick up 7th position coming out of turn number 4. Now has the 78 of Van Cleek approaching to the inside of the 73 of Zulu. Zach Coyer, the number 16 car, truck, boat, airplane, approaches to the high side of the 78 of Van Cleek. Out of turn number 2, we've got 46 laps to go. And what a battle it is between Brandon Schnupp and Wally Tierheimer. Some 3 wide action as Justin Michael goes high, getting a little bit of push from Sean Zulu. 3 wide action, Sanderson in the middle. Fenstermacher in the 27. Now gets pushed by Jason Hughes as they come out down towards the tri-oval. Still some 3 wide action. Wally Tierheimer to the middle now. Between Sean Zulu and Scott Fenstermacher. Across the start-finish line. 45 laps remain in this race, folks. Getting close to the halfway point. These drivers are beginning to get a little bit weary. The tires are starting to degrade. The fuel is draining in the tanks. When will the pit stops begin? We need at least one of them. I know some guys got in during that caution early on, but when will the true pit stop take place here at Talladega? As we see him come out of turn number 4 down the front stretch. Still 3 wide. Tierheimer bumps Zulu. Michael into Schnupp. In anticipation for some lap traffic up ahead. Oh, and Zach Coyer sneaks right around him. Looked like that might have been Lipstruer, Gene Lipstruer, not sure on that, couldn't quite see the numbers. Purple on black does not help this race announcer out from up here in the booth. But what did help Brandon Schnupp out was the turn 3 and 4 low groove. Unfortunately, Justin Michael and Sean Zulu are battling. Bump drafting in that middle groove across the tri-oval. And it looks like Michael will receive a lap lead here. That's 5 in total for Brandon Schnupp, 2 now for Justin Michael. Sean Zulu to the high side, Wally Tierheimer. Looks to be a Hardee's or Carl's Jr. 37 truck pushing the 73 of Sean Zulu, and look at the momentum from that middle groove. You would have thought that the 87 was dragging a trailer behind him, but that freight train of that middle groove into turns 3 and 4. Wally Tierheimer, Scott Sanderson, and now here comes the 79 up to play in the mix. 79 looks to be back there a ways. That is Johnny Smith. He's up there as if he's battling with Axum as well. Thomas Axum currently sitting back in 32nd position, is up there with your race leaders. With 42 laps to go, there's some race etiquette for you, some lap drivers. Down to the inside apron, allowing this monstrous herd of trucks to go flying by. Sean Zulu now giving a push to Wally Tierheimer to that lower groove. Justin Michael back there behind him. Scott Sanderson and Johnny Smith rally back in that middle groove. Thomas Axum now getting some rear draft off of Johnny Smith. Sylvia back there to the inside of the 76 of, the 26 of Edward Bray. The 76 back there by Fenstermacher is Toby Weatherford. everybody, you want to check your vision at this point in the backstretch, you may have had one too many to drink if you're seeing some wiggling trucks. Sanderson in that 94 truck now looks to take the race lead. Johnny Smith pushes him ahead of Wally Tierheimer. But here comes the lower groove battling back at the start-finish line. Oh, that's going to be a close one. It looks like Sanderson will pick up a lap lead. We have now reached the halfway point of tonight's race, folks. 40 laps to go. Let's take a look at your top 5. We see them right there in front of us. Scott Sanderson, Wally Tierheimer, Sean Zulu, Edward Bray, and Justin Michael. Here is your race summary. So 40 laps completed. 15 lead changes, folks. Wow. That is phenomenal. And only one caution. And 40 laps of this race. And wow, Scott Sanderson. Somebody shook the board out there at Talladega. It's like a game board and the game pieces being shook. Shook so hard, even Wally Tierheimer's paint scheme changed. Wow, look at that. And he's not the 37, he's the 57. My goodness, things change. 4 laps into a race. Well, 41 now. So Nathan Sylvia, who's led 20 laps of this race, is to the inside of 3 wide action. Johnny Smith is going to fall back quick as nobody's up there to help him. The 45 now looking to get lapped. We look back through our list here. Trying to figure out who that was. That's Joseph Hodge, TWC VM guy. And once again, they decide to shake the board here at Talladega. My goodness. This is some wild stuff we're seeing here. We can go to a different camera angle possibly. The server not helping out tonight as we see everybody wrecking. Oh wow, this is comical. Not intentional here tonight, folks. This is not intentional. Tell you what, we're gonna see if things can settle down as we got 37 laps to go. We're gonna take a short commercial break. When we come back, we'll have some more race action for you. This is the Superspeedway Showdown here at Talladega. Thanks for tuning in to the Digital Forge Broadcast Network this Friday night. We'll be back. Welcome back to Talladega, folks. 30 laps remain in this race as we get a nice look here at the pit line. Something the guys haven't got in and done pretty much all night. Let's get you back up to the race and see where our drivers are at. We follow Jason Hughes. And we got some serious warp action going on here. Not quite understanding what is going on with this server tonight. It is definitely all over the place. This is phenomenal. See Jason Hughes. Tell you what, folks, we're going to try one quick thing here. Take a commercial break. See if we can get this figured out. Not sure if it's client side or server side. But everybody's dancing here at Talladega. We'll be right back.
iRacing.com is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all over the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics and engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. iRacing's web-based interface allows members to compare stats and test drive any combination of car and track instantly. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 60,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsport organizations like SRO Motorsports Group to deliver virtual races based on the real-life Blancpain GT series. iRacing's Blancpain Endurance Series features team racing, giving members the ability to build a team and participate in races ranging from 3 hours to 24 hours. Additional partners include NASCAR, IMSA, V8 Supercars, IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own 24 hours of Spa, Bathurst 1000, Daytona 500, and many more. iRacing.com, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Looks like we got things settled down here. Everything appears to be back under order. Everything is settled with 24 laps to go. Not sure exactly what it was, what the issue was. Looks like we are back to the norm now. So let's take a look at your top 5. So Justin Michael, Sean Zulu, Zach Coyer, Jason Covington, Scott Sanderson are your top 5 as they come down the front stretch towards the tri-oval. The 87 of Michael into turn number 1, right there in front of the 73 of Zulu. Some of the drivers that you see just a hair back. Nathan Sylvia, the 67. You see a little bit of refresh action here on these paint schemes. That's the third-party software working to bring back their custom schemes. You see there. I believe that was the 32. It's like Coyer's. Whoa! And the 73 of Sean Zulu has to go high right around that 65 truck. It was Stephen Kenny. Lap traffic there in the lower grooves. 73 had to whiz right around him up into the middle groove to avoid collision. So the 87 of Justin Michael out at turn number 4 down towards the front stretch is your race leader. It'll be 21 to go this time around. Oh, and Jason Covington getting a little bit loose coming out of turn number 2. Take it down closer to the action here. Out of turn number 4. Let's get you down. Oh, and we've got a caution flag. And it's a bunch of vehicles up front. Out of turn number 4. We'll go back and take a look and see if we can capture it. From Toby Weatherford's point of view. So the 96 of Craig Covington with a little bit of connection issues. So you follow the 76 through turns 3 and 4. Out of turn number 4, you're going to see a bunch of trucks here. Fortunately, it looks like everybody got cleaned up. Not exactly sure where it came from, folks. Do know there was a few trucks involved up front. But that is our second caution of the night with 19 laps remaining. See if we can pull in the 87 of Justin Michael. This is Dustin Caldwell in the booth looking for that 87 of Justin Michael. Are you there?
Hey, how are you?
Doing pretty good. So up front, you're racing or leading this race. Got a little bit of feedback there. But you're leading this race. Tell us a little bit about how it's going.
Yeah, it's been pretty clean, pretty exciting so far. I've been pretty surprised. And we started in the back and made a hard charge through the field there early on. So looking to bring home a win.
You got some fierce competitors. The 73 of Sean Zulu behind you, the 94 of Scott Sanderson, and the 27 of Scott Finstermacher, who have been up there all race long. Is there any particular driver you're watching out for?
Well, all the people you just mentioned except the 27's a teammate, so plus we got the 57 and 67, so we're all working together trying to bring home a 1 through 5 finish.
And as you say team, give a shout out to your team.
We all race for Maximum Velocity, race every other Thursday night, and if y'all want to join, come check us out.
Which league is this for?
Maximum Velocity.
Oh, so we have a fourth league in here.
Yep.
Okay, it was under the impression.
For about a year or two now.
Is there any leagues you race in conjunction with, in like the KMA, the TWC VM, or Loose Lug Nuts?
I race the KMA league every once in a while.
Okay.
It's just every Friday and Saturday. So.
Okay. All right. Well, is there any additional shout-outs before we let you go?
Yeah, just everybody watching on my YouTube stream, everybody watching on AR15.com, and just thank you for doing your broadcast.
All right. Well, best of luck to you in the remainder of the race. We got 18 to go. There you have it, folks. The 87 of Justin Michael with a little bit of words up front. Sneaking a fourth league in here. Was not aware of that. Max Velocity makes their impression here in conjunction with the KMA League. Sean Zulu. All these guys teammates, he says. Robert Kelly, Sean Zulu, Johnny Smith, Justin Michael, Nathan Sylvia, Scott Sanderson, and Wally Tierheimer. All teammates. See if we can get some Loose Lug Nuts guys on here. See if we can get Jeff Wood to talk a little bit. This guy always is the face for Loose Lug Nuts and always obliged to get him in the booth. We'll see if we can get Jeff Wood on the line. Jeff Wood, this is Dustin Caldwell coming at you there.
Yes, sir. Got a copy.
Talk to us a little bit about tonight's race. It's looking like it's a great race so far. Only 2 cautions in the laps completed so far, and 3 different leagues. I guess we got a 4th league in there. Got the Max Velocity guys got snuck in. I guess they're in conjunction with the KMA, but it's looking to be a great race tonight. Tell us a little bit about your thoughts on it.
Oh, well, I've been, riding backwards, gotten in a little incident at the beginning, halfway point area, but, overall looking at the race, 40 cars gridding up, and we have 2 cautions. We're coming down to the last 20 here, so that, to me, just sounds like an awesome race.
Especially when you take 3 to almost, gotta kind of say 4 now, different leagues, put them together in the mix. Guys that sometimes race around each other, some that may not race around each other. Enough can't be said about the racecraft amongst all 3 to 4 of these leagues.
Yes, sir. I mean, we don't race with each other too often. A lot of us go around trying to help out each other's rooms in the car count, but looking at it, you can't get much better than that, getting people off the street to race with each other.
Any good expectations? What's going to be the better races, you think? The trucks or the Xfinity cars?
Oh, myself personally, I prefer the Xfinity cars. The new tire models a little bit better for me on Superspeedways, but we go to California next week, so Xfinity cars, it won't be a nose to tail, so hopefully have a better race.
All right, well, Jeff, thank you much for your time. We'll let you get back at it here as we're about to go green with 16 to go in this race.
Thank you, Dustin.
Well, there you have it, folks. Jeff Wood from the Loose Lug Nuts Racing League. Some insight on tonight's race. Let's take it down to the wall cams. Again, the great cameras tonight brought to you by Ryan Eckstein. As they go into turn number 4, the pace car will be set to go into the pits. There goes the pace car.
Green, green, green.
Green flag flies, 16 laps to go. Justin Michael, Sean Zulu, teammates up front. So as we take a look, crossing over 15 laps to go, up front, Justin Michael to the inside of Sean Zulu. 94 of Scott Sanderson. Wally Tierheimer down low. Scott Finstermacher up high. Has the 67 of Nathan Sylvia behind him. The 31 of Brandon Schnupp. Right there behind Sylvia, the 26 of Edward Bray. Down to the low side. Creeping up as he's getting some side draft off the 31 of Schnupp. Nice little gap there. Between top 8 drivers, between 8 and 9, you got about a 4-car truck length gap, you should say. So 34 of Corey Bodnod, who we talked to earlier. Club Ohio driver, number 34. Started 10th. He's back where he started, ladies and gentlemen, here with 14 to go tonight. Has the 78 of Jason Van Cleek behind him. The 71 of A.J. Brissett up to the high side. The 76 of Toby Weatherford. And the 79. I believe that's Johnny Smith up there. Out comes Lady Luck, 13 laps to go. Lucky number 13. And if you ever watch a Talladega race, folks, whether it be Camping World Trucks, Xfinity, NASCAR Sprint Cup, when you get here to Talladega, there is an under 10 lap curse known as the one, where all the nerves fly in the last few laps. And it looks like Michael's going to change gaps. Oh, he's nose to tail there. It's Sean Zulu. They get into bump draft. He's choosing his groove. He wants to stay in the middle groove as a tri-oval shift completes at the start finish line. Everybody goes back to the mid grooves. Let's see if the 87 stays in the middle groove here. Brandon Schnupp now making a move up to the high side, 3 wide with Scott Finstermacher. Wally Tierheimer down low of the 3 wide. Here comes Ryan Kuhn. Behind him, Zach Coyer, and now the high line's going to push and make a run for it. We get under 10 laps, folks. The one is where you're going to see one big major wreck. It's bound to happen every Talladega race. It may not happen here tonight. It may. Look at all of this 3 wide action. Something will have to give soon. The 87 barely holding on to the race lead is now Brandon Schnupp back up, contending for that race lead. He's going to fall back to Sean Zulu. Everybody's starting to waddle. Oh, and it's like a pitcher on a pitchfork. Everybody begins to wobble. Something's got to give, and one person, like removing Jenga or a stack of dominoes, could all come tumbling down like a house of cards, however flimsy you want to make it. One wrong move, and we have a junkyard on this track. Coming out of turn 4, it's going to be 10 to go this time around. And now Scott Sanderson, the 94, makes his way up front. Justin Michael, oh, and there it is!
Caution is out. Caution is out.
There it is, folks, the one. Hopefully the only one. But look how many it goes. My goodness. Let's go back from Zach Coyer's perspective. See if we can capture exactly who made the wrong move here in the tri-oval. And I'm going to say it's probably the 26 of Edward Bray. I'm going to call him out on this one. He had the 34 behind him. So we'll see if exactly possibly Bodnot pushing him or what may have happened. So as we get down closer. So it is the 67 of Sylvia is going to get spun out into the 26 of Bray. So Bray not the cause per se. Brandon Schnupp gets pulled up there. Back out the camera just a little bit, and wow, let it go flying around. And everybody, poor Edward Bray, is going to go flying through the air. My goodness, the pace car. That pace car driver better look out. Edward Bray is flying around at him. 65 even comes for a spin. That is Stephen Kenny. Look at all those trucks, folks. The dance of the Sugar Plum Fairy commences with 10 to go. We're back under the yellow here at Talladega. Hopefully this is going to be the only one. You're watching the Superspeedway Showdown. Under 10 laps to go here at Talladega. Thanks for tuning in to the Digital Forge Broadcast Network. We'll be back after this commercial break. Lights set to come off the pace car this time around as they make their way up to the front stretch. Welcome back to Talladega. Dustin Caldwell bringing you the coverage of the Superspeedway Showdown. Having R1 with 10 laps to go, holding true to Talladega's motto. We will be back green with 5 laps remaining. Give a shout out to a guy out there in the YouTube chat, Michael Jeans. Had a fast car, the 88 Tax Slayer Chevrolet at Dover Wednesday this week in the Dash for Cash Xfinity Series. Looked pretty good. Had some words with him, and he's out there sharing a cold one with the crowd. Watch them work their way through. Let's bring it down to the crank it up cam for you. Pace car set to go into the pits. There it goes.
Green flag.
Green flag flies. We got 5 to go. A caution down the back straightaway. A lot of trucks going spinning. This is going to get interesting. Take it up to our center field cam. Some of the other drivers involved in it. There is David Everly. Go back from the 61's perspective. We already have some trucks spinning out in 34. I believe that's Corey Bodnott. Let's even go back further. Let's use Thomas Axum as our guide here. Catch this. We'll back her up just a little bit. We'll follow all the way back through from the restart. Matter of fact, let's take it up to our blimp cam for you. There's the restart. A wide array of the field. 3 wide into turn 1. Oh, and some pushing and shoving. Right about there. So let's slow it down. Let's actually get down closer. Scott Sanderson. We can go down to Scott Sanderson here. Working together on it. These guys are patient, so we got plenty of time. Appreciate your patience in all of this. Oh, it's called Scott Sanderson out, and he's ahead of it. Trying to look, see who we can snag. It's going to give us the best view. Bodnot actually made it through. So as we take a look, Toby Weatherford back there. See if we can get it from AJ Brissett. We'll go down to AJ Brissett. Take a look down here. Swing around our camera here. There we go. Get in the mix of it. 102 of Gary Bird involved. We'll keep it on Gary Bird back there. A lot of trucks. Bad Bob Wells, the 38, going for a run by his buddy Thomas Axum. The 86 you see in front of you. We'll look through the list here. It's Gary Starcata. A lot of guys going for a spin here in the back straightaway. So the interesting factor in this, folks, the interesting factor we have to consider, will we get one lap? Will it be a green-white checkered? Would be a dramatic finish to an excellent race. 3 cautions so far tonight. "27 lead changes. Phenomenal racing at its best, folks. Take away the 3 cautions and we'd have near perfection. Putting 3, almost 3, we'll say 4. Let's go ahead and recognize max velocity. We'll call them 4 leagues tonight. Putting 4 leagues together in one session of 80 laps at a super speedway. Guys not racing around other guys. Don't know the temperaments. Working together. Enough can't be said about these 4 leagues and the show they're putting on here tonight. So let's take a look at your top 5. Justin Michael, Sean Zulu, Scott Fenstermacher, Scott Sanderson, and Wally Tierheimer. So with 2 laps to go, don't think we're going to get our green-white checkered, folks. So the white flag's going to come out this time around. So the pace car's lights will remain on. We're going to pace out the last lap. Didn't get quite to the green-white checker that we have. Fortunately, iRacing does not implement overtime rules as the new NASCAR overtime rules have taken place. So unfortunately, what we got is what we got. Let's take a look at the results while they are pacing out this final lap. Justin Michael, Sean Zulu, Scott Fenstermacher, Scott Sanderson, Wally Tierheimer, Zach Coyer, Tim Campbell, Corey Bodnot, Ryan Kuhn, Jason Covington, your top 10. Toby Weatherford, Scott Kolovic, AJ Brissett, Craig Covington, Jeffrey Wood, Jason Van Cleek, Gary Burt, Nathan Sylvia, Edward Bray, Alan Madding, your top 20. Thomas Axum, Matthew Hevener, Gary Whitmer Jr., John Hedrick, David Everly, Scott Kinney, Joseph Hodge, Bad Bob Wells, Garrett Stracata, Joel Guy, Jason Hughes, Johnny Smith, Gene Lipster, Brandon Schnupp, Lloyd Saunders, Jeffrey Conscious, Mark Jackson, Christopher Bortoli, Chris Hogue, excuse me, Hogue, I apologize, Chris. 39 cars. And we'll sneak in a Robert Riley there. We're going to follow the 87 here of Justin Michael as he comes off of turn number 4. We'll be doing a victory burnout. plain black with white numbers, Chevrolet. Here he comes. This is your race winner right here, the 87. And a close finish. As he goes, takes his victory lap. A hard-fought battle for these guys all night. Sean Zulu, Justin Michael up front. Zach Coyer will be in the mix, but it is Scott Finstermacher there in third. A last name so long, it doesn't even fit on our leaderboard. And here he comes out of turn number 4 down the front stretch at 87, and the crowd is cheering him on. And he revs that engine up. Definitely tell he's happy, and there he goes for his victory burnout. Probably not much grip left on those tires, so we're not seeing so much smoke. But there you have it, folks. A little victory burnout from Justin Michael. Some other guys putting some smoke down there on the track. Let's go ahead and go to our third place finisher here, the 27 of Scott Finstermacher. The great driving done tonight by that 27 car, surrounded by teammates all around him. He's able to come up and finish third here tonight. Tell us a little bit about how the truck handled here tonight, Scott, and what you expected at Talladega.
Oh, man, it was a... my arms are actually pretty sore because there was a lot of white knuckle racing out there. There was a lot of good help from my teammates, and got to give a shout out to Brandon Shoup and Gary Burt for giving me a hand a lot. And I also got a shout out to Nathan Sylvia for giving me some help, getting us in a four truck line when we needed it, and managed to basically keep this Cabo Wabo Chevrolet out of trouble. And that was the key, I think, to all managing to get up front here.
It definitely does work out for you. And you able to finish third in this first of a 6-race series. A couple other different leagues out here. Any expectations racing against guys you've never raced with before?
I'm taking it one lap at a time, more or less. I found out a couple of interesting people that I want to avoid, and I found some people that I'd like to hook up with more in the future. And so I'm just keeping notes right by my desk.
So cross-league alliances could be made in this series, folks. We'll have to watch for that. Scott, is there any shout-outs you'd like to give before we let you go?
Well, I got to give a shout-out to Loose Lug Nuts for sponsoring this series, as well as KMA and Trucks Gone Wild and everybody else for making this event possible.
All right.
Thank you guys for giving us a forum to show everybody what we can do.
Yeah, definitely so, and it was done well here tonight. Appreciate your time there, Scott. Congratulations finishing in third. We'll see you next week when we head to California in the Xfinity cars.
Awesome. Take care, guys.
There you have it. Scott Finstermacher coming in third here tonight, doing a little victory spin out for you. We're going to go live now to Sean Zulu. Another guy up front had his teammate Justin Michael there with him. They were working it out throughout the track. It was some comforting notice to have some teammates around you there, Sean. You guys worked really hard through the track. Tell us a little bit about how the truck handled here at Talladega and what your expectations were.
Oh yeah, it was a good race. So it was a very, very good race throughout. The expectations were, we've raced these trucks a lot. We race the Talladega every Saturday night with KMA, and it handles really, really well. So it actually handled better than we thought it would. And then about the race, We had some green flag pit stops there. I had Justin Michael, my partner in the 87. I had Wally Tierheimer in the 57, and Scott Sanderson in the 94, I believe. So it was really good to have teammates around us throughout the race.
And you works to your advantage. You're able to come in second here tonight. Next week, we take ourselves to California at Auto Club. Switch up the vehicle, go into the Xfinity cars. Tell us what we can expect out of that 73.
Oh, honestly, I'm going to have to actually learn how to race Auto Club. I'm going to get some pointers from Justin Michael, who's an alien at every over there is on iRacing. So once I get that teaching or Justin Michael school, you'll probably see me in the top 5 next week.
All right. Well, predictions made. That's awesome. Trusting very much in tonight's winner. Well, Sean, is there any last-minute shout-outs you'd like to give before we let you go?
Oh, yes. I just want to say thank you to the viewers out there. I want to say thanks to you guys for broadcasting this race. Thanks for Loose Lugnuts for accepting me into this league. And thank you for Scott Kulavik and KMA for putting on a good show and getting us interested in Loose Lugnuts. And also I want to thank my teammates from Max Velocity and Trucks Gone Wild.
All right. Well, congratulations again, and we'll see you next week in California.
Thank you.
There you have it, folks. Sean Zulu, the 73 truck, coming in second place tonight. Now we go up to the guy that he just called the alien, the 87 of Justin Michael, taking victory in Talladega in dramatic fashion. Some good work through the field. We had a chance to talk with you a little bit tonight, and what was your expectations there towards the end?
Well, we all made a deal that we just weren't going to wreck each other, and no matter how it finished, we just didn't want to cause a wreck. But we got lucky, and we coming out with the win there with that late race yellow.
Being ahead of it with 10 laps to go, there was the big one come out. From there, you guys prevailed on to be where it was about 5 laps. Thought we might have a green-white checkered in all of this. Unfortunately not, due to where they were at when the yellow flag came out. You guys had already been past the pace car. If you'd have been behind it, we might have had a 1-lap shootout. And with all your teammates around you, what could we have expected in that situation?
Well, John would have probably stuck with me no matter what. So he had some damage, and I think Scott had some damage. So it would have been tough, but I think we might have been able to pull it out. So would have liked to have seen it happen though. I'd rather finish under green than under yellow.
Well, next week we head into California, switch it up, go to the Xfinity cars. A little change of pace. Some of these guys I know in the KMA League are not quite used to running Auto Club, but you're going to be taking them there. Going to be racing not only in a Xfinity car, so taking them out of the element of the truck and out of the Superspeedway as far as Talladega is concerned. Going to California, what can we expect from the 87?
Well, it's one of my favorite tracks, especially with the tight setup, and I know we're going to be running cold weather, so we definitely should be a front runner. So I'm hoping for a top 5 and lead some laps, and I'm guessing they're keeping points in the steal, so we want to hang on to that points lead now.
Definitely have come out the gate swinging here for your league. It's definitely some great racing going on tonight when you put 4 leagues involved into it, and everybody working really good. 3 cautions. You know, enough can't be said about that pretty much towards the end. So
yeah, the green flag pit stops, that was awesome. Something we don't get a lot of, so I was very, very happy about that. It really spread the field out there after they happened, so we had I think about a 10-car pack. So hey, to see that yellow to bring everybody back together.
Yeah, definitely all the hard work kind of goes away from you when the yellow flag comes out as you all bunch back up once again to try to pull back away from one another. And it's hard to do when these trucks, as they do like to fight side by side throughout the race.
Yeah, absolutely. And then once you get spread out, single file is just slow. You got to be side by side, so you got to have about 6 cars, and you can really pull away from everybody.
Well, is there any shout-outs you'd like to give for your victory tonight?
I definitely like Sean for pushing me the whole race, and all the Maximum Velocity guys, all the guys watching my stream at youtube.com/jmichael99, all the guys at ar15.com watching. So, and just you for putting on an exciting broadcast as always.
All right. Well, we look forward to seeing what you guys got going in next week into California in those Xfinity cars. There you have it, folks. The 87 of Justin Michael taking victories early on in this series. Race number 1 complete here tonight at Talladega. Let's take a look at the schedule real quick on your screen. We were at Tally tonight. We go to Auto Club next week in the Xfinity cars. We'll be back with trucks in 2 weeks at Daytona. Come back here in 3 weeks with the Xfinity cars. So that'll be really interesting to see how these guys, what they learn from these two different vehicles and their temperaments. Loose Lugnuts always likes to put on a nice little Wheelman style series. Let's take a look one last time at the results before we sign out here tonight. Justin Michaels, Sean Zulu, Scott Finstermacher, Scott Sanderson, Wally Tierheimer, Zach Hoyer, Tim Campbell, Corey Bodnott, Ryan Kuhn, and Jason Covington, your top 10. Toby Weatherford, Scott Kolovic, AJ Brissett, Craig Covington, Jason Vanderkleeg, Gary Burt, Nathan Sylvia, Edward Bray, Jeff Wood, Thomas Haxum. Rounds out to 20. Matthew Heavener, Alan Madding, John Hendrick, Gary Whitmer Jr., David Everly, Joseph Hodge, Bob Wells, Stephen Kinney, Gary Stracata, Joel Guy, Jason Hughes, Johnny Smith, Gene Lipstruer, Brandon Schnupp, Lloyd Saunders, Jeffrey Conscious, Mark Jackson, Christopher Bertoli, and Robert Riley, rounding out your field. Here's your final race statistics of the night. 80 laps completed, 27 lead changes, and 4 cautions in this race. Glad you could tune in this Friday night with us here to catch the Superspeedway Showdown Series premiere. Be back on Sunday night to catch the last race of the Sim Racing Short Trackers Super Late Model Pro Series and crown a champion. But that will do it for us here tonight, folks. I'm Dustin Caldwell for the Digital Forge Broadcast Network saying thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you this Sunday night.